Ethan Esval is a 16-year-old boy, a nationally recognized student athlete, and a level 10 gymnast. Ethan is considered one of the best gymnasts in the Southeast and top 20 in the nation.
Well, every day I wake up at around 6:30, go to school for 4 periods, leave at 12:30 so I can get to practice on time. The drive takes around 35 minutes to an hour and a half depending on traffic. Get home at around 8:30ish, do my homework, eat dinner, shower, and go to bed. Here's some of my medals in my closet. Excuse the mess. Right here, it's like the generic USA gymnastics medals, and then each other competition has their own custom medals like this, or these here, which is actually my home meet.
Ethan began the sport in 2004 when his mother signed him up for a gym in Westfield, New Jersey.
We started in New Jersey, and then we got transferred here to Atlanta, but it turned out the best gym for him was in Roswell. And then the coach moved to Marietta, so we drove to Marietta for a year, and then he decided to move to Tucker, so still to this day we're going out to Tucker for gymnastics.
Not only has Ethan sacrificed for the sport, but his family has too.
We pay for travel, hotels, pay for the coach, uniforms, practice. We figured it costs about $20,000 a year for the two of them. And, it could easily become more.
The accumulative pressure from gymnastics along with academics are factors that Ethan, along with many other elite gymnasts, has trouble coping with.
Well, our coach Nathan puts a lot of pressure on us to take a lot of turns and make sure we get better. Have good form in our stretch and when we're on the events practicing. He puts pressure on us to do good in competitions and reach our goals like making national team, making nationals, doing gymnastics in college after we're done here.
I think it helps them with pressure. They perform in front of an audience. Some of the other events that they go to, like nationals, everybody is watching, it's on TV, and a lot of pressure. So they have to be able to handle that.
He often just yells at us, makes fun of us, just kind of gives us a look of disappointment, like he's over there just angry at us.
I mean, he is really hard on him, and I think that it actually works against him. It's discouraging. He comes home and he wants to quit. He doesn't want to go back to the gym. He doesn't want to deal with it. His coach is mean.
We always say to Ethan and to Aiden to have fun, to enjoy it, and to not worry about failing or winning, but just to go out there and do the best you can and enjoy the moment, and we'll see what happens.
The main focus of many of these gymnasts is to make it to the college level.
I'd say school is a little bit more stressful, just as it's hard to balance homework with practice, and if your grades are low, you'll have a hard time getting into the colleges you want, because gymnastics colleges tend to be a bit higher ranked colleges like Stanford, Cal Berkeley, Michigan, Penn State.
So my backup was Georgia Tech, but I ended up getting deferred from them, and I think it's probably because nobody knows about gymnastics, so they don't know what goes into every day in my practices and competitions.
It depends on how good you are at gymnastics. If you're a level 10 who places 50th at nationals, you're not going to have an easy time getting onto a college team. But if you're in the top 10, 20, colleges are going to be going after you.
According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, collegiate-level football players are, on average, admitted to their school with an SAT score 220 points lower than the school's average.
I got a 2060 on the SAT with a 770 on math, and my GPA is about 4.2.
Your grades don't have to be as high, but still, you need to have higher scores than most people to get into those schools.
I'm sure a football player with my SAT scores and GPA would definitely get in.
At the elite level, every aspect of your life can affect performance and has to be well maintained.
The biggest thing is your attitude when you come in the gym. If you have a bad attitude, nothing's going to get done. So you just don't feel like doing anything, and it's pretty easy to come in with a bad attitude. A lot of my teammates and me, we come in every day and you just don't want to be there because you know how hard the practice is going to be.
What you eat the day before, what you eat the day of, and like when you eat, because if you eat too much before practice, then you'll be sluggish and you'll maybe want to throw up. So carbs before practice is really good, so eating like bagels and sugar is actually good because we're high performance athletes. And then after practice, you need to eat a lot of protein to rebuild your muscles, especially before you go to sleep.
Sleep is, something that gymnasts don't get much of. I mean, at max, I usually get like 6 hours of sleep a night, which isn't enough for a kid my age, because, you have homework to do, you have to eat dinner after practice, after getting home late. A lot of times you don't go to bed until midnight, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
These are grips. We wear them on high bar and rings. So we wear these to get a grip on the bar, so the dowel goes over, so you can actually hold on without slipping off. And if you don't wear these, you'll just rip up your hands, you'll be bleeding everywhere. So
Women's gymnastics is ranked third most dangerous sport in the country behind football and ice hockey. Men's gymnastics is usually excluded from the conversation due to its low participation in the sport. However, when comparing sports based on casualty rates, men's gymnastics beats even ice hockey by 15 casualties.
I've broken a few bones, torn a few ligaments, had to be put in casts, take, months off at a time. Hit my head once, got a concussion, stitches on my head. I mean, every day you're gonna get minor injuries, not even injuries, just hitting your shins, getting big bruises, your hands rip open, bleed all over the place. Your ankles are just kind of gone after a few turns on floor.
I've seen a lot of labral tears and then tendinitis, particularly the psoas muscle, which is one of the hip flexor muscles. So when all that flexibility is not paired with the strength to be able to perform the movements correctly, that's when you really see those injuries.
I haven't had any major injuries. I just have like continuous back pain and hip pain. It's kind of related, but I push through it. I don't usually take any Advil or painkillers unless I'm at a meet, so I'll take a lot during the meet, but that's about it. Last year at a meet in Chicago, I stopped in the middle of the meet because my back pain was too much. My coach was kind of mad at me about that, but I had to protect myself. So
Yeah, every day when you come in the gym, there's some skills that, definitely scare you. I mean, fear is a big factor in gymnastics that holds people back a lot. That's a Tkachev, which is a release move on high bar. You can hit the bar, land wrong on the mat. I mean, I've had friends who have broken their necks doing things on rings. I've seen kids completely snap their legs in half, landing wrong on vault. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of fear into gymnastics. I mean, sometimes when you're learning a new skill, you just have to say, that's what I have to do.
Despite the overwhelming amounts of time and effort spent on gymnastics, Ethan, along with many other elite gymnasts, has no intention of pursuing a long-term career with the sport.
Pursuing an Olympic career, that's something that a lot of gymnasts want to do. I mean, if you go on a lot of these, young gymnast Instagram profiles, they have, 2020 Tokyo, they're planning on going to the Olympics, but in reality, it's a really hard thing to do. It's only 6 guys every year, and it's the best of the best. Professional gymnastics, you can't really do that as a living because, you have to stop doing it around age 28 is when most people stop. In general, you don't make that much money doing gymnastics like you can other sports because it's not as popular in the United States. Where do I see myself in 15 years? Well, I hope, I can do well in my app development stuff and make money from that so I can work on more of my projects that I have in my notes, different engineering projects such as hybrid car systems and a lot of automobile stuff because I'm really into cars and I'd like to work with things like that. Just engineering in general is what I want to do.
Gymnastics is a time-consuming, stressful, and deteriorating sport. It may be one of the hardest sports in the world. These high-performance athletes receive little to no recognition for what they do. So as entertaining as football may be, it might be time for America to change the way they view high school athletics.
Rocks have hit my car. There's bumpers all over the side of the road. Trash. A lot of big bags of trash.
Did I watch that?
Okay.
Just